Have you ever heard a fact so insane that your brain instantly goes, "No way, that can't be real"? Today, we're not just listing 30 facts that sound completely fake. We're diving into the science and history of why they are 100% true. We're looking at the world through the lens of a 1952 Eames information diagram to design inevitability. Let's begin. Fact 1. Antarctica's dry valleys haven't seen rain for nearly 2 million years. This happens because the surrounding mountains are high enough to block seaward flowing ice from the East Antarctic ice sheet, and katabatic winds, gravity-driven winds reaching 200 mph, evaporate all moisture before it can fall. It's the closest thing to Mars on our own planet. Fact 2. Your brain produces around 20 watts of electricity. This isn't just a metaphor. Your billions of neurons communicate via electrical impulses. While each individual neuron only generates a tiny charge, their collective activity is literally enough to power a low-wattage LED bulb. You are quite literally a biological power plant running on nothing but glucose and oxygen. Fact 3. Octopuses have 3 hearts and blue blood. 2 hearts pump blood to the gills, while the third circulates it to the body. However, that systemic heart actually stops beating when the octopus swims, which is why they prefer crawling. Swimming is physically exhausting for them. Their blood is blue because it uses copper-based hemocyanin, which is more efficient at transporting oxygen in cold, low-oxygen environments. Fact 4. There are more possible chess games than atoms in the observable universe. This is known as the Shannon number, approximately 10 to the power of 120. For comparison, there are only about 10 to the 80 atoms in the known universe. The exponential complexity of just 64 squares creates a mathematical space so vast that no computer could ever calculate every possible game. Fact 5. Honey never spoils because it is a perfect storm of preservation. It has a low moisture content and a naturally acidic pH, which makes it inhospitable for bacteria. Furthermore, bees produce an enzyme called glucose oxidase that creates hydrogen peroxide as a byproduct. Sealed in a jar, it is essentially a biological time capsule. Archaeologists have found edible honey in 3,000-year-old Egyptian tombs. Fact 6. Sharks have existed for 400 million years, predating trees by 50 million years, and even the rings of Saturn. They have survived 4 of the Big 5 mass extinctions. Their success is due to their incredible adaptability and a skeletal structure made of lightweight, flexible cartilage rather than bone, allowing them to remain apex predators through multiple geological eras. Fact 7. There are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on Earth. Researchers estimate there are 7 quintillion 500 quadrillion grains of sand on our planet. However, the observable universe likely contains over 200 billion trillion stars. This comparison highlights the incomprehensible scale of the cosmos, where our entire planet is less than a speck in a celestial desert. Fact 8. You are only about 43% human by cell count. The majority of the cells in your body are actually microbial, bacteria, viruses, and fungi that form your microbiome. These microbes are essential. They help digest your food, regulate your immune system, and may even influence your mood. You aren't just an individual, you are a complex, walking ecosystem. Fact 9. You can't hum while holding your nose shut. Humming is produced by air vibrating as it passes through your vocal cords and then out through your nose. When you pinch your nose shut, you block the only exit for that air. Since air can't flow, the vibrations stop and the sound is extinguished. It's a simple demonstration of basic fluid dynamics in the human body. Fact 10. Indonesia's Kawah Ijen volcano erupts with blue lava. In reality, it's not the lava itself that's blue, but high-pressure sulfuric gases that ignite as they hit the oxygen-rich air. These flames can reach 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, creating a surreal electric blue glow against the night sky. It is a stunning chemical light show fueled by the Earth's internal pressure. Fact 11. Sharks are older than the rings of Saturn. While sharks were perfecting their hunt 450 million years ago, Saturn was a ringless planet. Scientists believe the rings are a relatively recent addition, likely formed when a small moon or comet was torn apart by Saturn's gravity just 10 to 100 million years ago. about the same time the dinosaurs were nearing their end on Earth. Fact 12. Cleopatra lived closer to the moon landing than to the building of the Great Pyramid. She died in 30 BC, about 2,000 years before Apollo 11. But the Great Pyramid was completed nearly 2,500 years before she was even born. We tend to lump all of ancient Egypt together, but the civilization spanned more time than has passed since the fall of the Roman Empire. Fact 13. A day on Venus is longer than its year. Venus rotates so slowly that it takes 243 Earth days to spin once, but its orbit around the Sun only takes 225 Earth days. This happens because Venus's rotation was likely slowed down by its incredibly thick atmosphere or a massive collision in its early history. Even stranger, it rotates in the opposite direction of most planets. Fact 14. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way. There are roughly 3 trillion trees on our planet, but only about 100 to 400 billion stars in our galaxy. This highlights the incredible biological density of our pale blue dot. While the universe is vast, the sheer quantity of life on our own planet is equally staggering when viewed at the right scale. Fact 15. Oxford University predates the Aztec Empire. Teaching at Oxford was established in 1096, while the Aztec civilization didn't form until the founding of Tenochtitlan in 1325. This chronological mismatch occurs because we often associate Mesoamerican civilizations with prehistory, but the Aztecs were a relatively young culture that reached its height during the European late Middle Ages. Fact 16. You can start a fire using ice. By carving a clear block of ice into a biconvex lens, thick in the middle and thin at the edges, you can refract and concentrate sunlight onto a single focal point. If the ice is clear enough, it will ignite dry tinder. It's a masterclass in optics. The lens doesn't create the heat. It simply organizes the sun's energy into a lethal point. Fact 17. Your stomach acid is potent enough to dissolve steel razor blades. The acid, mostly hydrochloric acid, has a pH low enough to corrode industrial metals. Your stomach prevents self-digestion by constantly secreting a thick layer of mucus and regenerating its lining every few days. It is a highly controlled chemical furnace designed to break down tough biological structures. Fact 18. Botanically, bananas are berries, but strawberries are not. In botany, a berry is a fleshy fruit produced from a single ovary. Bananas fit this perfectly. Strawberries, however, are aggregate fruits. The yellow seeds on the outside are actually the true fruits, each containing a tiny seed. This botanical naming convention often contradicts our culinary definitions, where anything small and sweet is a berry. Fact 19. The Eiffel Tower grows up to 15 centimeters in the summer. This is due to thermal expansion. When the sun heats the iron, the atoms move faster and take up more space, causing the entire structure to expand. Conversely, the tower shrinks back in the winter. It is a giant iron thermometer that physically responds to the changing seasons of Paris. Fact 20. Wombats produce cube-shaped droppings to mark their territory. Their intestines have specific regions with varying rigidity and elasticity that mold the waste into cubes as it dries. This serves an evolutionary purpose. The cubic shape prevents the droppings from rolling off the rocks and logs wombats use as boundary markers. It is a masterpiece of biological engineering for land management. Fact 21. Lake Natron in Tanzania turns animals into stone-like statues. The lake has an extremely high alkaline pH, as high as 10.5, due to the runoff from nearby volcanoes. The water is so caustic it burns the skin of unadapted animals. When creatures die and wash ashore, the sodium carbonate and salt in the water calcify their remains, essentially mummifying them in a layer of mineral crust. Fact 22. The smell of fresh-cut grass is a chemical distress signal. When the blades are damaged, the grass releases volatile organic compounds to warn neighboring plants and even attract predatory insects that eat pests like caterpillars. What we perceive as a pleasant summer scent is actually a botanical, silent scream and a desperate call for reinforcements. Fact 23. A typical cumulus cloud weighs more than 1 million pounds. While they appear weightless, the combined mass of the tiny water droplets that form them is immense. roughly equal to the weight of 2 fully loaded Boeing 747s. They stay aloft because the warm air rising from the ground provides enough lift to keep the droplets suspended, counteracting the pull of gravity. Fact 24. Most of the Earth's oxygen is produced by the ocean, not rainforests. Scientists estimate that 50% to 80% of our oxygen comes from oceanic plankton, specifically phytoplankton, algae, and some bacteria that photosynthesize. These microscopic organisms release oxygen as a byproduct of turning sunlight into energy. Every other breath you take is a gift from the sea. Fact 25. Some mammals can breathe through their intestines in emergencies. This is called enteral ventilation. In a 2021 study, researchers found that rodents and pigs could absorb oxygen through the rectum if their lungs failed. By delivering oxygenated liquid this way, they could keep respiratory distressed animals alive. This bizarre backup system is being explored as a potential treatment for human lung failure. Fact 26. The shortest war in history lasted just 38 minutes. The Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896 began at 9:02 a.m. on August 27th. When the new Sultan refused to step down, British warships decimated his palace and defense force. By 9:40 a.m., the Sultan had fled, the flag was lowered, and the war was over. It is a record of military decisive action that has never been broken. Fact 27. Hot water can freeze faster than cold water, a phenomenon called the Mpemba effect. While it seems to defy logic, several factors are at play. Hot water evaporates faster, leaving less mass to freeze. It develops stronger convection currents that speed up cooling, and it may change the way hydrogen bonds store energy. Thermodynamics is far more complex than a simple head start in temperature. Fact 28. Tsutomu Yamaguchi survived both the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic blasts. He was in Hiroshima for work on August 6th, survived with severe burns, and caught a train home the next day, to Nagasaki. He was describing the first blast to his boss on August 9th when the second bomb detonated. He survived again, lived to 93, and became a powerful voice for nuclear disarmament. His survival is a testament to the sheer unpredictability of life. Fact 29. There are more microbes in a teaspoon of soil than people on Earth. A single teaspoon of healthy topsoil contains roughly 1 billion bacteria, along with miles of fungal networks. With the human population around 8 billion, you could find the equivalent of the entire human race in just a few tablespoons of dirt. We are living on top of a massive, hidden civilization of microorganisms. Fact 30. A blue whale's heart is the size of a bumper car. Weighing over 400 pounds, it is a massive biological pump with an aorta large enough for a human to swim through. To sustain the largest creature to ever exist, the heart only beats about 8 to 10 times per minute when diving. It is a slow, powerful engine that has mastered the art of biological efficiency. If these 30 facts blew your mind and gave you a new perspective on the science of our world, hit that like button and subscribe. Your brain is generating 20 watts of electricity right now. Use some of it to join our community and stay curious. See you in the next one.